network or your mail server, it goes off to the side first. It's scrubbed, cleaned, and made sure it's safe, and then it comes to your internal network. So here's a quick illustration on what a DMZ actually is. Some people may have heard us talk about relay servers, and that's the same theory. So you can see email would come in and go to this DMZ network first, and then from the DMZ network it would go inside only when it's safe. This is also a very effective and secure technique if you're hosting your own website. You're hosting a very high volume website or a very public website. Um, any hole you don't have to open up in your firewall is better. Now, offsite spam filtering, it's come a long ways. It has all the benefits of the network entry point spam filtering, where it reduces the load on your servers, lots of different options. Um, Also reduces your internet bandwidth substantially, because with any situation that we've talked about already, the spam is still coming to your network. It's still email that your internet is being taken up by. With an offsite filter, it's just less demand on your internet. And they usually offer more advanced email handling. Customer we recently set this up for, gets thousands and thousands of spam a day. And they've got their IT person who, has to look through all the blocked email for potential good ones. Getting this in saved that person about an hour a day. So if you could save somebody an hour a day, which is 5 hours a week, which is hundreds and hundreds of hours over a year, I'm sure that'll pay for that filter, many times over. So, offsite filtering program that we do recommend is our Smart Mail Defense. It includes everything we've talked about so far, but it does also outbound message filtering. It's got some disaster recovery services in there, so if your mail server happens to go down, just know that this thing can actually take over, and it can be used for sending and receiving email for a short amount of time. And then it also does virus scanning too, so your mails are being double virus scanned. So on to web browsing. This is a hot topic nowadays. A lot of stats out there, and these stats are going to support, how real it is, how real of a problem it is, and then how much it's actually costing. From international data, we know that 30 to 40% of employee internet browsing is non-work related. And it's a proven fact too that 60% of online purchases are made during work hours, which are 8 to 5, 9 to 5. So what people are doing out there is you can see that 70% are just reading the news. We've got a pretty good percentage shopping. I'm sure everybody's heard of Black Friday, the shopping day where everybody gets up, and now it seems it's like 2 or 3 in the morning after Thanksgiving. But the Monday following Black Friday is called Cyber Monday. Reason being, that is the single biggest shopping day of the year as far as sales go, and it's an online shopping day. Searching for another job, we don't want people looking for another job on your time. Checking stock reports and then doing social networking. So these are a lot of things that people out there are doing. We saw a big increase on internet bandwidth utilization over the NCAA tournament because there are a lot of games going on, obviously, and there are a lot of people watching different streams, whether it be just text, audio, or video. So again, we've got some cost calculations here for you just to help with what it's actually going to cost your agency versus what it's going to save your agency. Again, we're using our $33 an hour, and figure that it's going to be about an hour of non-business internet usage a day. And most agencies, when they see this, they say, well, we don't have that big of a problem. We only know of this one person who's really abusing it. And usually they're half right. Usually it is that one person abusing it. But it's usually 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 other people that are maybe more, maybe less. But it does add up. So what is typical by lots of different studies we've seen and done is about 1 hour a day wasted. Add that up and you're talking a whole lot of money for a 12-employee agency. It's pretty scary, actually. We've actually seen one place that put a filter in and had it paid for itself in just a matter of a couple of days by finding somebody spending about 30 hours a week on MySpace. So it does happen. It does happen. So the first thing we can do for managing web browsing is having user policies and practices in place. And I'm still surprised by how many companies that don't have a written policy for what you're allowed to do on your computers, because those are work tools. A lot of companies do say, yeah, well, we're a family environment, we're friendly, we're warmer place, we're not those kind of people. And that's, I do understand that, but also understand that, allowing people to do streaming radio is going to take up your internet bandwidth, and it's going to slow your other users down. They're not going to be able to browse around on the company websites and pull information for customers as fast. We also do have an article more about some streaming radio statistics and things that we found in our upcoming newsletter in our Guru section too, so I encourage everybody to check that out. Peer-to-peer file sharing, this refers to those programs that you can use to, download music for free, download movies and TV shows and different programs. For starters, obviously they're illegal. Some common ones out there are LimeWire, Morpheus, BearShare. This is what Napster actually used to be, back when Napster was a big thing and then they got busted. They were a peer-to-peer file sharing program. Unrestricted web browsing. And I mention this because it's, that's pretty obvious, and that's what we're here talking about. And the simplest thing we need to do at first is let our users know that these are work tools, and we can't allow unrestricted web browsing. We've got to cut it down to, what's business related. Obviously, that's going to differ for each business, and, we have seen and do have policies out there that we're more than happy to share with you if you need help setting up your own policy. And the same goes for email. I talked a little bit about personal email and how that can lead to increase in spam, but the more common personal email that's used at work is Hotmail, Yahoo, Google Mail, MSN, you name it, those different type of things, AOL Mail. They're typically websites, and you can actually block those websites with most web filters. Out of those 93% of email viruses that companies have received, about 60 to 70% of those were actually from people checking their personal email at work. So just an example of what can happen out there with unrestricted web browsing is this cool new program. It's Antivirus 2009, sometimes referred to as Antivirus XP 2009 or Antivirus XP 2008. You're more likely to see a pop-up when you're going to a non-business related website. You're trying to do some shopping, some searching for personal stuff. You just click to the wrong place. And your computer's kind enough to tell you that your computer may be infected with a virus. Click here, or click OK, or click Continue to get it scanned. And then you're going to have this program pop up and scan it. You haven't actually installed a new antivirus or anti-spyware program, but you've installed one of the nastiest pieces of spyware that's out there right now. Talked about this program a little bit at a recent show, and a couple IT people in the room, kind of dropped their heads when they saw this, because they've dealt with this. By having users